Hey, what's up? This is the Leafs Convo for Oak Ridge Ford in London, Ontario. OakRidgeFord.com, 0% on escape, 0% on edge. We've got all kinds of stuff. Get at me in community. Norm, along with Mike. It is Friday, October 22nd, 2021. It is game day, Leafs and Sharks. A 6 o'clock start time. You know how the NHL loves to tailor its schedule around the crown jewel of the league, the San Jose Sharks, but we will capitulate in the name of hockey. Good morning, Michael.
Yeah, it's happy hour hockey at the Scotiabank Arena tonight. Yeah, no, I don't know if it's catering to San Jose or if it's actually the Leafs playing 6 o'clock games so fans can get home early on a Friday night or go out for a beverage after the game. But San Jose has been, I think, tougher than a lot of people expected them to be. But the one benefit for the Leafs is that the Sharks played in Ottawa last night, so they're in a back-to-back. They won't have to face the patron saint James Reimer because he played against the Ottawa Senators. So they'll get Aiden Hill for the Sharks against the Buds tonight at Scotiabank.
Speaking of goaltenders, Michael Hutchinson about to make his triumphant, long-awaited return to the lineup. This is a player that the organization just can't shake, and all things considered, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're lucky that he did not get claimed on waivers when he was placed there a couple weeks ago, especially since Peter Mrazek tweaked his groin in his first start. Not an optimum situation for the Leafs, but Hutchinson actually played better last year than he did that previous season when he was pretty much a liability. I think he played 7 or 8 games last year when Freddie Anderson was hurt, when Campbell was struggling with his injury. So, no doubt the Leafs are going to have to step up. They can't really depend on Hutchinson to give them an outstanding performance, but if he just gives them a good performance, they should be able to score against the San Jose Sharks team that is not exactly great defensively, but we'll see. They're 3-0, so we'll see.
This is the Leafs Combo for Oak Ridge Ford in London, Ontario. OakRidgeFord.com. Norm, along with Mike. Joe Shedler is in the chat. There's like one person because it is really early and no one expected us to put this production together. Barry boy like me, wish him the best. I believe he's referring to Michael Hutchinson. The Knights traded for Michael Hutchinson way back when he was an OHLer and he was playing for the Barrie Colts at the time. So the Leafs are 2-1-1. The Sharks are 3-0. We figured San Jose would become a league doormat at some point, just not right now. Maybe the Leafs burst their bubble. Auston Matthews, we'd like to see a continuation of his start the other night against the Rangers. Mr. Matthews, AM34, coming out of the gate, gangbusters, 8 shots on goal, 16 shot attempts. He was effervescent in the 3-on-3 bonanza. Just looks like he's a man on a mission, and for him, that's great. For the fans, that's great. But more importantly, for his teammates, it's really crucial because he seems like he'll be the straw that stirs the drink, and maybe the type of guy who not only can put points on the board for himself, making the team better, but help his line mates better, in particular number 16.
Yeah, it was funny. I heard on Toronto radio during the week about, I don't know about Nick Ritchie playing on the top line with Matthews and Marner. Like,
whomever you put there, Mike, sorry to cut you off. People hate it, but whomever you put there will be better because they're playing with number 34.
Right, but the thing is it's been a game. Would you give them a chance? I mean, I would say give that line combination a couple weeks, let them sort of gel, let them see if it works, and if it doesn't work, then you can shake things up. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice if Marner is usually the one who's the conduit to Matthews, feeding him the puck, and Marner is great at that. So maybe that gets him going. you would hope that Marner, with the individual talent that he has, would not have to be sort of supplemented by Matthews. But I mean, right now they sort of depend on each other, and that was a great combo last year with Matthews winning the Rocket Richard and Marner finishing in the top 5 in scoring. So it was encouraging. There didn't seem to be any wrist problems after 6 or 7 weeks of recuperation after the surgery. So I think it's full steam ahead for Matthews. Now, this team has not exactly jumped out offensively so far this year. They've been able to win. They've gotten 2 victories against Ottawa and Montreal. They were stymied by 2 great goaltending performances by Anton Forsberg and Igor Shesterkin. So they really have to break through. And Aiden Hill isn't exactly Terry Sawchuk, so I would hope that they would turn it on tonight.
If the Leafs are going to take the next step offensively, Auston Matthews is the guy who's going to lead them there, right?
Yeah, that plus the power play, which is, again, a little unsettled, but it was only 1 game. I didn't think they were particularly smooth or in sync. But there's so much talent there. I just don't know. And this is going a direction where, again, it's going to be, the power play is always going to be a focal point after last year, when they were best in the league for the first 2 months and then arguably the worst or one of the most disappointing in the league in the second half and in the playoffs. But there's too much talent there, but I just don't know whether that's the problem, that there's too much talent in the sense of you might need one guy to go to the front of the net and just be a professional disturber, somebody like Richie, somebody like Bunting, instead of having Nylander and Tavares and Marner and Matthews and Riley all on the same power play and all basically trying to pass it into the net. Matthews and Nylander like to shoot, but they don't seem to want to shoot unless it's a one-timer or a really open opportunity.
And they're trying to pick shelves all the time. How many times has that puck hit the end boards and
just get the
scooted back around outside of the zone, and they have to start over again because someone is trying to score a goal that'll end up as the number 1 highlight that evening, and the percentage is extremely low.
Morgan Rielly doesn't have a big shot from the point, but it's tough to stop when you can't see it. And that's what, that I don't think that, they've had Tavares as sort of the net front presence trying to deflect the puck. I don't think that's well suited for him. I think, they've had Marner in the bumper position because they can't play him on the half boards because he doesn't have a big shot. And teams are sort of strategizing with Marner there. Okay, we know he's going to pass. We know he's going to feed Matthews, so let's cut off the pass and make him shoot. And he's worked on his shot in the offseason, but really, they have to get by those tactics, and that's an issue. And we'll see how it goes during the year.
It appears the team is trying to be too cute, too perfect, and there's a lot of indecision back and forth out to him. Over to the next guy. Here's a potential opportunity, misses the net. It's into the pads. Perhaps the team plays with a little more urgency on the power play, crashing the net, doing something a little bit different. You have to think that the brass has already bandied about different ways to generate offense with the man advantage, and they're still believing that a glut of talent working together will, at the end of the day, do what needs to be done. So far this season, they have scored some power play goals, and you'd think that the percentage will be up compared to last year because it was such a disaster. But, geez, when you have that much offensive talent and you have the minds, you think you could collectively do something that would, on a consistent basis, generate enough offense to help you win games, and that remains to be seen. This is the Convo. Norm along with Mike. We thought we'd put together a little show because it's been several days since the Leafs have played, and since we've been able to, just put some content together. So here we are. We will be back for the Sunday Spectacular in a few days' time. So the Leafs have the Rangers tonight, and then it's into Pittsburgh tomorrow. A bit of a double dip. Hutchinson tonight. Jack Campbell against the Penguins.
Mhm.
Jack Campbell's in a position here where if he stays healthy and plays like he did last year and has continued to in the early going this season, he may make himself some big money and won't have to wait until he becomes an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, I mean, Campbell's, I mean, knock on wood, but Campbell, the first 2 years in Toronto, has had some injury issues. Last year, they really had to, baby him through because they had no other option after Anderson got hurt. So whenever he sort of tweaked an injury, they had to play Hutchinson or they had to trade for David Riddick and limit his options. This year, the plan was to have Mrazek basically be a 1B, and I think split time. I don't know if it would have been 41-41, but I think it probably would have been, say, 50 and 32, just not the typical backup workload to take some of the pressure off of Campbell. Now with Mrazek's injury, Campbell's going to have to probably for the next month play in every situation except for back-to-backs like Hutchinson is playing tonight. He's played great. I mean, he made that big save before the Panarin goal, and I think it was Zibanejad, the glove save. It was fantastic. He's played really well in every game. Had to come in the third period after Mrazek got hurt in Ottawa. He's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. He's singing for his supper, and I know that the Leafs like him. I know the team likes him. But the question is, with their cap situation, what does it mean if they have to sign him to what most of the goaltenders signing extensions are getting now, which is, Cal Peterson, who I think is a good goaltender, who is the heir apparent in Los Angeles to Jonathan Quick and is going to get the majority of the work there. He's 25, 26 years old. He signed 3 years for $5 million. So you have to assume that Campbell's going to get in the neighborhood of $4.5 to $5 million if he's determined to be the starter. Now, the Leafs might do what they're saying they're going to do with Morgan Riley and wait till the end of the year. But if he has a big year, then the cost will go up. So It might be beneficial for them to be proactive and sign him. But again, I bring up Riley, and that's the whole thing. I mean, not to go down the road that I normally go down, but if you're going to sign Riley, and you probably need to because he's your best defenseman, and you're going to sign Campbell, where's the money coming from? Trading Alex Kerfoot is not going to be enough to sign those two guys. That's why I keep saying about a Nylander trade, not because you want to get rid of him because he's a good player, but because you might have to keep the rest of the team together.
Oh, let's not deal with that effed up topic right now, Mike. Let's get excited for some hockey this evening. Guys, it is the Sharks at Scotiabank Arena tonight. The Leafs are into Pittsburgh on Saturday. It's still early for me, so I apologize if I inverted the Leafs' opponents. The good news is, and the news is, that the Leafs have back-to-back games. We've had quite the layoff, and it's just I want to get into a rhythm. For as much as we've been, we've had tempered expectations because of the disappointment of last season. The more hockey we play going forward, the more we get into it, the more excited we are about the Leafs' chances, especially with a guy like Auston Matthews back on the ice. He really was fantastic in that game against the Rangers. Reckless abandon, just basically saying, guys, I'm here. Let's go. There's no rust to shake off. I'm ready to play. That 3-on-3 was pretty wild against the Rangers. Before we take off, and that was great. But I mean, a 3-on-3 really is just it's a pick 'em. It's a crapshoot, right? You can pepper a goaltender and have a bad rebound go back the other way and one shot and you're done, right? What from that game in totality did you see that encourages you about what the Leafs are going to embark on over the next two games? I'll leave it with you.
Well, I mean, I'm encouraged that, with the injury to Mikheyev and now the return of Matthews, you saw Kerfoot move down to the third line with Kasha and with David Kampf. And I actually think that's a pretty decent checking line. Although, we talked at the top about Nick Ritchie and him being on the top line. If that doesn't work, the likely option is to move Kerfoot up into the top six, move maybe Michael Bunting up to the top line, who has been not a revelation because I expected him to be pretty good, and move Kerfoot with Tavares and Nylander. I think the depth up front is pretty decent with this team. I still don't like the choice of Mike Augello over Adam Brooks. Adam Brooks has only played a game or two with the Habs, but Augello really didn't bring that much to the fourth line, and they've moved Engvall down to the fourth line. So there's some good depth up front, and there's going to be some mixing and matching, but I think there's some combinations that will really help.
Yeah, I just wanted to do a little roll call this morning. Joe Shedler in the chat, thanks for being with us. Last of Us Clips, good morning. Dyslexic is back. Dick, stay with us, okay, buddy?
Yeah, he thought it was funny. He thought it was funny that I said Morgan Rielly was the best defenseman.
I know.
He's Justin Hall.
He's our friend. He's our friend.
Who is it? Justin Hall? Give me a break. It's Morgan Rielly. He's the best defenseman on this team. Jesus.
Jason M is here, and then we also have Mr. Truman Does. Good morning, Leafs Nation. Sean Robertson. Thanks, guys. We just want to add content to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, do that now. Please like this video. Let your friends know that we are up to something. And we'll also have the opportunity for you to listen to this on your favorite podcast platform. We will upload it shortly. We'll watch tonight versus the Sharks, and then tomorrow against the Penguins, and then we'll get set up for a big, long Sunday spectacular where we'll go more in depth into our sponsors and what they give to us, including Anthony Taglieri. And, of course, the one and only Oak Ridge Ford in London, Ontario, 601 Oxford Street West, London, Ontario. Drop by, come see me, buy a car, and bring me a coffee when you do. For Mike, I'm Norm. We'll see you soon.